Hello everyone, welcome to another Kruleboyz video. In this video, I am going to detail and talk about a doubles tournament that I played last weekend. It was a ton of fun, very casual atmosphere, everyone's having a good time, people just getting hammered and having some good game of Warhammer. It was a lot of fun, it was great. So, just quickly, let's review let's review the actual tournament, the like the players pack. So essentially, both teammates got 1,000 points each, and the intention is that both armies are going to be independent of each other. So for example, a Marshcrawl, a Sloggoth is not going to give its +1 to hit aura to your ally. They wanted to, and this was a smart choice, right? Because they wanted to make sure there wasn't any exploited mechanics that, like aren't super fun. And then there's other rules too. You can't have like the same unique models, right? You can't, like, there's other things like this, and all the missions were custom, so that there was no battle tactics, there were no grand strategies. Those were all part of the battle plan on the table. And so there's all kinds of things, all kinds of little rules here. You can pause the video and have a look if you're interested in running something like this. But it was a lot of fun. So I'm not going to go through all the battle plans, but just generally speaking, you can imagine how the battle plans were more narrative side of things, less on the matched play, more competitive end, and more on like the sort of random, kooky kind of stuff. But they were a lot of fun to play, so I'm glad I got the chance. So here's my list. So I was playing Kruleboyz, of course. I decided to play with Big Yellers because I didn't want to play Gutrippaz and Hobgrots with only 1,000 points. The grand strategy didn't matter because they were part of the battle plans, and that +1 to wound Triumph is always a good choice. So my list essentially was a Boltboy package. I had Snatchaboss and Sludgeraker Beast, 2 Swampcalla Shamans, and 2x6 Boltboys with a Warlord Battalion. I was going to go with a Battle Regiment battalion for 1-drops, but my ally had more drops than me, and we weren't allowed to double up on battalions. So instead, I went for the Warlord Battalion, which was a good choice. So the generals, Snatchaboss, command trait, skilled leader. The reason I went with skilled leader is because no other command trait seemed particularly good. Not that skilled leader is very good. A 1 in 3 chance to get an extra command point on your turn, it's not very impactful at all. But, I didn't feel like I could super sneaky anything because I had nothing that I could really super sneaky. Everything had to stay pretty close together. I wasn't going to use an Arcane Tome, Master of Magic, because I had no endless spells, right? Like, there was really nothing else. +1 wound doesn't feel very good. Egomaniac might be okay, but who am I really going to give the pass the wounds off to? Right, so I just decided to go with Skilled Leader. I thought at least that'll give me something. Artifact Power, Mork's Eye Pebble, that's a very obvious choice right now, especially if I'm not running Grin and Blades for that invisible outside of 12, so I'm more vulnerable to shooting. Vast and Mount Trait, obviously good choice, super strong. Swampcalla Shaman with Pokrot, so one Shaman was more of a forward Shaman, so that's this guy, to Black Pit and Nasty Hex, and the other one was more of a backline Shaman with Choking Mist and Sneaking Miasma, and then 2x6 Boltboys. It was, great. So the first game we played, I deployed on one side of the table and my ally deployed on the other side of the table. My opponents did a very similar thing. The opponent on my side of the table was a Slaves to Darkness player. I can't remember the name of the unit, but he wasn't running a lot of Knights or Chosen or stuff like that. He was running more like the slower, bigger, meatier, like troll looking models. I can't remember their name, and I'm not going to look them up right now, but more like a slower fighty army, and he had a really tough time against me. He's too slow. I hit him with that Choking Mist. He can't run anymore, and then I just started peppering him with shots the whole time. And you know what Boltboys with fully buffed up Boltboys can do, so I was just picking things off. He had a rough game against me. On the other side of the table, my ally deployed... Oh, sorry, I didn't even say, but my ally was playing Squig Herds. 2x24 Squig Herds, 2x12 Squig Herds, and then 2x the Squig boss. So that was the plan. It's like, I'm gonna sit back in this castle and just start shooting stuff, and he's gonna just unleash the herds across the map. It was great. 2 Squig herd bosses together with their once a game unleash the Squigs is great. Like, we were throwing Squigs everywhere, right? Jaws of Mork. It was awesome. And then my opponent on the other side of the table was Skaven. So the Squigs and the Skaven they both have recursion, right? So they were trading blow for blows and had more of an even game. And we ended up winning this game. It was a lot of fun. Some very interesting mechanics on this table. I enjoyed this table quite a bit. Game 2, we played against a Fire Slayer team. Well, one player was Fire Slayers. The other player was playing Cities of Sigmar, but with a dwarf focus. And then I believe he was playing Grimnir, I think is the name of the model. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the model. But he's like this really overpowered dwarf that is like, 500 points or something. And re-rolls a bunch of his dice. You'll have to tell me in the comments below what the name of this model is. But he has a 3-up ward. He reduces all of the damage that he takes down to 1. So my Venom Encrusted Weapon procs are no longer dealing 3 damage, but they're dealing 1, and then having a 3-up ward. Like, just a super, super strong model. Gotrek Gunnarsson. Gotrek Gunnarsson. Absolutely ridiculous model. Absolutely ridiculous model. That's the name. So, and then we also got really unlucky. They took turn 1, and on turn 1 they cast Gnashing Jaws. Gnashing Jaws got a really good move, ran across the table, and killed my Swamp Kala Shaman, who has Nasty Hex. And so now I don't have Nasty Hex to remove Gotrek's ward, and without being able to remove his ward, there's no way that we were going to be able to kill him very efficiently. We did end up killing him, and there was cheers. Our opponents were wearing these big woolen red beards, and they got hammered during the game. It was a great time. We had a great time. But we did end up losing this game pretty badly. The Squigs did their job and did lots of damage. We killed a lot of the models off of our opponents off the table, but we were not able to do it quick enough to take objectives fast enough to win the game. Those Fire Slayers are tanky, boy. They are tanky, I tell you. For game 3, we played against a Cities of Sigmar player, I believe playing Living Cities with like a healing sort of focus, castle kind of deployment, and a Beasts of Chaos who took his whole army and put it in reserve and was going to drop it outside of 7 inches and charge it into us with some bonuses to charge and basically eat us up. So we decided to deploy like this. We deployed as a straight up castle on all sides, and it worked, right? Like, we were able to keep our opponent off of us, but unfortunately in turn 3 he deployed his whole army off to the side on some objectives and was able to win out on points. But again, super fun game. Everything in my list I feel did its job, and it all felt pretty good. Comboing with Squigs was really fun and really interesting. It really showed me how our Kruleboyz army is lacking some kind of fast-moving, objective-taking cavalry type unit. The Squigs were so helpful. I don't think that Squig herd is a good choice with to ally into Kruleboyz, because you're not getting the Jaws of Mork ability and you're not getting the Squig boss. So I think that Hoppers are a better choice if you're looking for some allies, like some fast-moving allies. I think that Hoppers are the best choice if you're looking for some fast-moving allies, for sure. You can take a couple of units, probably not 3, yeah, just 2 units, but really good, really strong. So yeah, that was that. I feel like I had so much fun. So if anyone's watching this video that was at the event, like I thank you for your presence. I will definitely be checking it out again in the future. All right, like, subscribe. Wow.